Jamie.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Fantastic. So, how's the day so far, Jamie?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, I left work early, which isn't too bad. I'm self-employed, so I can just sort of come and go as I please. So yeah, the weather's terrible here, so glad to be back in the house really.
Jamie, your debut full-length album, Chemical Well, was out on November 15th. So, would you like to tell me a bit on the songwriting and production behind this new album?
The song, like, what do you mean, like the writing process or what
The
sort of thing?
song about how we come up with the songs and any specific concept or a theme that goes behind this album?
So coming up with the songs, it usually involves so all the musical parts they come from me. Like, so all members of the band are credited with writing the music, and that's because we're quite an old-fashioned band in that we write the music together in the room together. So what it involves is three guys looking at me, say, what have you got, and then I've got to come up with magic right there and then. So it's quite stressful for me. And then once we've got like a bit of a spark and two or three parts that we think fit well together, then um, we'll arrange them, chop bits about, say, oh, we think it needs to go here, needs to go there, whatever. Then I'll go away and I'll demo it and I'll flesh out the song with like lead parts, and also on this album, I started using electronic elements as well. And then we were writing this song for a long time, years and years, and we ended up chopping and changing bits of the songs all the time, really, over that period. So, all right, Lewis.
Afternoon, howdy. You all right?
All right, we're just talking about the writing process.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, then yeah, we got the demos together, and then so we also had like a pre-production day with our producer Sam, where he it was very valuable actually. It was so we went in with five of the tracks from the album, and he sort of looked at them with fresh eyes and said, "Well, what about if you did this part in this transition? What if you took this part out, made this part shorter, etc." And we went away and we applied that process to the rest of the songs on the album as well. Um, so yeah, that hopefully that's answered your question.
Yeah, yeah. So I had the pleasure to listen to this album in its complete day, and 10 beautiful songs, greatly worked songs,
Thank you.
beautiful beautiful vocals, amazing musicianship, a blend of modern and lot of progressive elements and a lot of different metal elements you have infused in this album, and it came out beautifully well. And I loved each and every song from this album.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for putting up an awesome album this year. As a creator, how do you guys feel about the work on this album?
Go on, Les.
From a creative standpoint, I think we allowed ourselves quite a lot of room on this one, and I think it's been 10 years really since we recorded a previous album. So we're sort of 10 years we're 10 years better at our instruments, and we understand what we can and can't do within the context of the band that we are. Um, and sometimes that might feel like it's limiting because we're driving towards a particular sound or we know exactly what we want. But I think within that, that is quite creatively fulfilling. Um, art thrives on limitation or whatever. So the fact that there are limitations on what we can do helps the creativity. And because we all write well together, I think that we're able to push each other forward creatively as well. So I think we work well as a team in that respect.
Fantastic. And did you guys do something big on the day of the release on November 15th?
Oh yeah, we went and
Went to
ate like
dinner.
lots of plates of meat. There's a restaurant in Northampton near where we live called the Smoke Pit, and it's like a American barbecue. So we went there and we just blew a load of money and ate a load of meat and celebrated there. Yeah, we can't get too drunk because we're all dads, so
Yeah.
got to drive home.
Cool, cool. And speaking of 2025, any big touring plans for you guys?
Not at the moment. I mean, so the next step for us is to get a booking agent on board. So I think there's only a certain level of show that we could get to without that sort of backing. we've been putting our name about for like festivals over here, and but touring is something that we've wanted to do. We missed out on touring Europe and other places when we were in the previous incarnation of the band, and it feels like unfinished business for us. So definitely like t touring. There's no concrete plans, but we want it to happen. So hopefully, it starts coming together soon.
Fantastic. And three official music videos from this album: Second Son, A Momentary Death, and Witness. So would you guys like to tell me a bit on the making of these videos?
Yeah, we knew that there were going to be videos. Of course, Second Son was the first one that we shot, and we worked with someone new for that. And yeah, we sort of kept that one quite simple, but we were keen that there was at least some sort of variation in the video in terms of the shots that we were using, and not necessarily to have a narrative, but we wanted there to be a good variation and just to experiment with light in that one. So that one we were really happy with. And then after Second Son, we shot A Momentary Death, and that one we brought in a little bit more narrative in terms of the character that's in it and the light up tablet, and just experimented more. We worked with someone different for A Momentary Death, so it gave us an opportunity to do something different. But we were keen not to make the same video again. So stylistically, they're different. You could tell them apart straight away. And then Radiant, we had someone in Norway. Is it Norway or Sweden or something? He's
Finland.
from
The guys from
Finland.
Finland, yeah.
Yeah, Finland. Yeah, and he did the visualizer for us from Radiant. I know Carl in the band was a huge fan of the work that he's done for other bands, and when we saw what they could do, we knew like immediately that's what we wanted for the Radiant visualizer. So yeah, we were really happy with all three videos. We thought they came out really nicely.
You forgot one, the Witness video.
Oh yeah, Witness. Sorry, yeah.
Also,
Witness was
the momentary death videos, the narrative in that it's basically loosely based off of the lyrics, just not just that song, but for the album, it's sort of supposed to be like a bit of a metaphor for people. Well, it's a heavy-handed metaphor for people basically getting infected by technology, really. So, and then the Witness video, we just wanted something that looked pretty cool. So it's in 4:3 and.
it's a lot brighter. We wanted to make it a lot brighter, didn't we?
Yeah, so the guy that shot it, Ollie, he went all out on that one. He was like rotoscoping it. So it's actually he's the video. I don't know if all of it, but he's literally filmed his old CRT television playing the video. So I don't know what he did with that. Basically, he worked some magic on that one, and so uh, Second Son and A Momentary Death. We actually filmed those videos before we were signed. So the plan we were just rolling. We were going to roll out the whole album and everything ourselves. Like that was our backup plan. It was going to be like a DIY thing. So we got lucky really, getting signed, and then we had help with the Witness video.
Fantastic. And moving on in 2025, before getting back into the studio, are you planning for a big touring for this particular album, spreading out the word, or you're just going to hit the studio real soon?
As Jamie said, oh sorry, I was going to say we hope to.
Yeah, go on. I'll do
Yeah,
last one.
we hope to. We have, like we said before, we've got no tour plans in stone yet. But absolutely, I mean, I'd be very surprised if it doesn't happen next year. It's one of our priorities to, like Jamie said, get a booking agent and then get out on the road and support and promote the album effectively. Yeah, that is the plan for 2025.
We have started writing bits and pieces as well, though, but it very loose sort of. It's very difficult at the start because you can't really hear, like we've got no idea what the next album or EP or whatever what it's going to sound like. So you sort of have to just start jamming and getting things together and saying, okay, we want to do more of this from the album, or I think we've said enough of this. We can leave that behind, and things like that.
Fantastic. And speaking of your work towards music, it's not just with Obeyer, because you have started way back with Lacey, and then it slowly transformed into Obeyer. So how do you feel about this long journey that you have traveled so far?
I don't know. It's just something that we've always done. Like, all of us have been playing in bands since a young age. I think Carl's first band was when he was 12. So
Yeah,
it's just something that we've just always done. If nobody was listening to this, we'd still be doing it. Um, but it's nice that there has been some payoff because there was definitely a step up in our efforts and how we were thinking about going about everything on this album. So to get to where we are now after putting in so much effort, that's a nice feeling. You know, it's not all for nothing because it has been a long road, especially in the lead up to making the album. It's it's a stressful time. Um, so yeah, it feels nice.
we've done it for so long now. It's sort of just part of how we operate through life, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And any highlight moments that you want to share with me today
Any highlight what's from the album recording or?
from Obeya start till now?
I
Well, I suppose
mean,
getting signed would be the big one, wouldn't it?
yeah, because Periphery are my favorite band. So from a personal point of view, just so we had an EPK, an electronic press kit that we sent out to labels, you know, to try and see if anybody was interested. And on that was a link to it was a SoundCloud link with a playlist on it of some of the songs. And if someone is logged into SoundCloud and they listen to your music, you can see which accounts are listening to it. And one day we go onto it and like we can see that Misha Mansour's listening to it, Haunted Shores are listening to it, Spencer Sotelo listening to it, and it was just surreal. Like the fact that these guys have heard our music is ridiculous. Let alone getting to this point where we're on their label and everything. So that's been a highlight so far. It's still early days for, like we said, touring and all the rest of it. So that's been the pretty big moment.
Definitely the main one. Yeah.
Fantastic. And as a band, any big dream?
Back to touring, I suppose. It would be
Yeah.
nice to tour. Yeah, just to have more people hear it and to be able to play in front of more people and play bigger, better shows with bigger, better bands. I suppose, like any band, that's essentially what we're striving to. There's no big objective or goal that we're working towards. We literally just want to be playing, bigger and better shows and to get out there touring and do that part of the band that we've not really had the opportunity to do previously. I think is the dream at the minute.
We've felt for a long time that we were ready to get onto like decent sized festival stages and things like that. So but so getting signed onto this label and having that sort of vindication, I think that's really um spurred us on. We believe that we can get there now. We can do these things. Like so that'd be the next big thing. But, getting the opportunity to prove that we do belong on these stages and that we can bring it every night and everything.
Fantastic, fantastic. And speaking of the songwriting process of Obeyer, do you guys have some special topics that you cover on, or is just random songs that you want to write about?
Well, lyrically, the lyrics always happen last. So we're not when we're writing the music, we're not thinking about what's going to happen lyrically. But Carl will do that when the music's finished. But Carl is very much involved in the process of writing the songs themselves. I don't know if you covered this before, but we write all the songs in the room together. So there's all four of us. We go to band practice. We sit down, and like Jamie says, we'll just jam. We throw a lot of stuff at the wall just to see what sticks. And out of that, we manage to pick songs and assemble things. But topically, there's nothing we drive towards, but there's definitely a sound that we guide ourselves towards, and we don't necessarily always know what that is in advance, but we know it when we hear it.
Yeah.
When we wrote the album, we wrote a lot of songs that were really good, but we binned them because they weren't us. They didn't fit with the others, or it's not the sound we were looking for. Any other band, it might have been great, but yeah, we ditched a lot of material. So there's a slow process we go through of just naturally feeling out where we're trying to get to in terms of sound, and then Carl takes that away when it's finished and puts lyrics on top of it.
What will usually happen as well is so Carl will say, I want a song that does this, I want a fast song, and then we'll end up doing the complete opposite
Yeah,
of
yeah,
that.
we'll
Like,
ignore him.
whatever we aim to do, it ends up just being something completely different. So it's almost pointless in a way trying to uh, aim towards something.
Yeah, we can't shortcut the process. If we try and shortcut the process and get somewhere in advance, it doesn't work. We have to let it happen organically, else
Yeah,
we
you're
just
dead right. Yeah.
frustrating it.
Fantastic. And I came through your story, like wherein you was said about your all the four of you guys, like it's like a family bonding that you have together, and or as a band is secondary, but you have a very common bond between you that you want to stick together for a very long time. So how did it all happen? And could you like to tell me about this relationship of brotherhood between all the four of you guys?
That's a long way back. So when I was like 18, 19, I was in my first band with the original vocalist of Lay Siege, a guy called Conrad. And so Lewis and Dave from Abaya, they used to come and watch us like at local shows. And they were in a band from Milton Keynes themselves, and we sort of like looked at each other, and we weren't too happy with what was happening in our own bands, and we were, well, why don't we just get together and see what happens? So we ended up forming Lay Siege out of that. Conrad, the vocalist, he left after 3 years, and we knew Carl from another local band, and we'd seen him out and about. We used to go to like metal club nights in Northampton, and we'd always see Carl there, and he was always like a laugh. We always got on with him, so he was one of the names on the list. So we held a couple of auditions. The other guy actually was the drummer. There's a massive band called Yard Act. It was the drummer from Yard Act is the other guy who tried out in Lay Siege. Unfortunately, at the time he was young and he couldn't drive, and he said, "Oh, I can't put any money up for the album," all this kind of stuff. So anyway, yeah. So Carl joined Lay Siege, and that was back in 2013. So basically, it's just got to the point where our social life and the band they're the same thing. Like they're intertwined. So all of our wives know each other. Like our kids play together and everything. And I couldn't really see myself like if this band fell apart. I don't think I'd bother playing in another band. Like setting up a band is just such hard work, and
Yeah,
I don't know if I would like the dynamic of just like I see a lot of other bands these days. Um, like we often play with them, and they say we don't even practice. Like one guy writes it in front of a laptop. We all learn the parts, and then we just turn up and play it and things like that. And that doesn't sound like fun to me. Like fair
no,
enough if that's what works for you, but for us, it's like so we practice every Sunday night, and it just gets us out of the house at the end of the day. Like yeah, yeah, that's what the band means for us, really.
Fantastic. And finally, any message that you have for the fans around the world?
Thank you so much for listening. Like we can see on like Spotify, for example, how many countries we're getting to, and it's yeah, it's crazy. You know, we're just four dads from the Midlands, and to see people from all around the world are listening to this music, and yeah, it's a surreal experience.
a massive thank you. Definitely, yeah, I'd echo that. It's taken us by surprise, and the feedback has been incredible, really, like across the board, almost university positive, which has blown us away. So we're really grateful for everyone that's taken the time to listen to it and enjoy it and feedback in some way or however they enjoy it. Yeah, we're really appreciative of that.
Yes, fantastic. And Lewis and Jamie, I want to thank you both so much for giving me today this wonderful opportunity to have you guys on the show. And thank you so much for Chemical Well. Like I said earlier, fantastic album. I'm totally loving each and every song from this album. So thanks for the musical awesomeness. And I'm really looking forward for more great music from you guys. And I wish you guys all the best.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
so
much.
much. Really appreciate it. Lovely to talk to you.
Take care. Right.
All
Thank
right,
you.
bye.
Bye.